Hello, I am Kimberly Swanson. I am hosting this first video with Psychology Essence. Psychology Essence is an educational source for psychology and mental health. We talk about mind, body, and spirit. I am Kimberly Swanson, also known as Kimberly Purpoz, or also my pen name, Purpoz. And I have a master's degree in psychology, and I am currently a doctoral student, and I'm pursuing my PhD in psychology as well. So welcome to our very first video. For this video, we're going to do a lecture on Erikson's theory, a psychosocial theory of development. For those of y'all who are not familiar with Erikson, he did the expansion of psychoanalysis that was done by Sigmund Freud. And in this theory, he expanded Freud's psychoanalytic theory. And he included 8 stages in his theory. It started off with ranging from being a newborn all the way up to being a senior citizen or elderly. So the purpose of this theory is to bring more of a social approach to Sigmund Freud's theory of psychoanalysis. According to Erikson's theorization, when each person, everybody follows these 8 stages of psychosocial development, and when you complete each stage, you're able to move on up to the next level. It enables a person to have a very healthy personality and to develop really good morals in their personal life and also with interacting with others. Now, essentially, the virtues of the traits enables the ego to overcome tragic situations and circumstances. So, when not completing certain stages, it lessens the chance of moving up to further advancement. So, for instance, if a child starts off as a toddler, infant, and move up to toddler, but they are not moving up into the preschooler range, that means that they are something may be going on with their development, and so maybe there may be some sort of intervention or something that needs to be done to correct the problem. But let's go ahead and continue on. The following is the 8 stages of Erikson's psychosocial development theory, and we're going to first go over each stage of this development. You can follow along with me on my Psychology Essence page. I'm going to put a link right below so you can follow along with me on this brief lecture. The first stage starts off with age 18 months, which is trust and mistrust. This is during the infancy stage, and during this time you develop hope. That is the moral of the stage. That's when hope of surviving, and usually, back in the day, and still now, mortality is pretty hard on infants. For certain stages are critical for babies to go through. Now we're going to move on to the autonomy versus shame and doubt. In this stage, it starts off with 18 months to 3 years age, and usually this is the toddler age. And during this age, the basic virtue is will. The third stage is the initiative versus guilt, and that's age 3 to 5 years old. That's usually preschoolers age. And the 4th stage is the industry versus inferiority. That's competency stage. That's the moral development of this age period, and that's usually, like I said, it's usually during grade school. And then the 5th stage is the ego identity. Some people call it the ego identity, or they just say identity. Either way is correct. Identity versus role confusion. And usually this stage is usually 13 through 21. That's dealing with teenagers. And during this age, you're learning about fidelity. Now the next stage is stage 6, which is intimacy and versus isolation. This stage is ages 21 through 39. And this is young adult age. This is the time period when you're trying to find love. And that's the basic virtue during this time period. I just found that quite interesting that Erickson chose this period, that ages 18 through 40. That's the period when you're trying to find your mate, your life partner. That's the time period when you're trying to find the person you want to be with and possibly have children with in the future. And perfect, and usually that's the age period 18 through 40 is the age range in which people tend to have children and procreate. So the next stage is stage 7, which is general tivity versus stagnation. This is ages 40 through 65, and it's the middle-aged adult. And I found that interesting also, that the virtue during this time period, this age period, is when you're learning to care. Usually during this time, you're caring for others. Usually you're dealing with raising children and also maybe raising adults. You sort of see it with this age generation and with the Generation Xers. I'm having a mind fart there. Mind fart. But anyway, Generation Xers like me, I'm a Generation X. We're going through a sandwich effect. And I like to mention that because you can sort of see it with this lifespan, that when you're caring for people, we're seeing a family effect where where they are pretty much caring for the family. Usually when you're in the middle like that, you're caring for an aging parent, which in many cases the Generation Xers are now at this period where they're caring for aging parents who are usually the baby boomers and or pre-baby boomers. I'm not quite sure what's the name of that, but before the baby boomers, but baby boomers generally. And then they're also caring for the younger generation, or the ones who are going to college, which I believe is Generation Y or Z. Don't take my word for it. I'm gonna put the right name of that particular generation in the screen. So, but anyway, they are feeling, the Generation Xers are feeling the sandwich effect of raising caring for two different generations, the older generation and the younger generation. So in fact, they feel the sandwich effect, and that's the caring for people, and that's the age group from age 40 to 65. But anyway, as the Generation Xers moves in more towards middle age, and some of them are moving like me out of the young adult stage or towards the very end of the young adult stage and going into the middle stage, they are starting to feel that effect of caring, having to care for everyone, the sandwich effect. Let's move on. I can go on and on about that topic because I guess I'm living it right now and I see it. And also, we're going to go on to the next phase, which is integrity versus despair. This is the older generations, ages 65 and onward. And that generation, their moral development is usually wisdom. That's when you reach your experience life, you get a chance to reflect, you get a chance to share your knowledge and wisdoms with others, and And pretty much that's pretty much it. But I believe there's a ninth one that is added on by Dr. Oh no, I don't think he was a doctor. Mr. Ellis, the psychologist. He mentioned another level that was done by his wife, and I'll list that below, because there is another one that goes a little bit beyond that she added on. But generally people tend to follow the 8 phases of development, and these are typically the 8 stages that Erickson has developed for the psychosocial development. And you can follow along if you want to see the charts and everything and the resources that's on our blog. It's under psychologyessence.com, and you're welcome to go and visit it. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them below. I will look forward to hearing from you guys. Until next time, peace. Take care. Bye-bye.